Hi crafters! Today I'm going to show you how to make a graduation card using the StampinUp PDF that is a fundraiser that we are doing right now. I'll put the link in the comments below for you to see the fundraiser link. I'm going to show you how to do it with punches and dies and a little bit of stamping. So let's get started. So this is a graduation card that we are going to do. And we are going to use the PDF. So the PDF is a printout that you can do. 100% of it goes to the COVID-19 fundraiser. So the first 2 pages will talk about coordinating colors and products to cut out the images I'm going to show you. You get 2 pages of those. There is 15 pages of printouts. So here's your 15 pages of printouts. And what I have done is I've cut it this way so that I can access my punches and my die cuts to make it work. So like on this one, I cut this one out. And I stole one from this one. And these are the extras. But there are a lot of PDFs printout, or a lot of images and sayings that you can use for your cards. So what you're going to need is a piece of white card scrap paper. That is going to do the die cutting of this piece, which is, I'm going to show you real quick, at the inside of this right here. This is like a little pocket for a gift card. So the die cut is going to cut out this one, and I'll show you the stamp in a minute. This is a PDF printout. See, you can get them in colors. That's pretty cool. And then this one here is a PDF printout. So you're going to die cut this one, and you're going to use to punch out 2 of the 1-inch circle punch, which is retiring, by the way, this year. You're also going to punch out 1 of the blush blossom. This is a blush blossom scrap that you're going to need. So you're going to punch out 1 like I showed you out of the 1-inch. You're also going to die cut, let me take this piece, let's back up a bit. Out of the white, you are going to use the framelit out of this one. This is the Ornate Garden Framelets. It's available in the upcoming catalog, and you can also purchase it right now. I'm using this die to get this saying right here, which was the inside. I'll show you again. It's this one. So it came out of the Ornate Garden die. Put that aside. That's white again. Again, I use the rectangle stitched, which again, this is a printout. And this is the one on the inside that I showed you using this stamp set. I'll show you that. I use this square, or rectangle, sorry. It's the 4th one from this one. And I used the 2nd one from this one. Those are the ones I used. To do the sayings, on the graduation one, I used Happy Graduation. I just didn't ink up the happy part. I just wanted graduation. And I used a Memento black pad to do this portion right here. On this one, Strong and Beautiful. Oh, this one was called Itty Bitty Greetings. This one is Strong and Beautiful, and I used this one right here that says, "You have what it takes to be unstoppable. I couldn't be more proud." Okay, so backing up, this is the oval I used on the Blushing Bride. I used this piece right here, I cut, and I used this one, which is the third from the largest. I also oval cut this one here, which is the smallest. Okay. And the second to the smallest one of the ovals, I cut a black piece. So you're going to need a scrap piece of, back up again. And this piece right here is a punch. It's a ticketed punch, which is retiring as well. All right. So out of the black, I showed you the oval. I used the dies out of the poppies. This one is called Poppy Moments dies. I used the little piece right here that is the center of the flower. That too was out of black. I also used the stitched squares. So it's this one over here. So out of your squares, this is the second one from here. This measures 1 3/8 square. Those are your black pieces. Oh, and out of your black, I also used the 1/2 inch circle punch, which also is retiring this year. All right. Your next scrap piece is going to be brown. This is soft suede. I used the 3/4 inch punch, which I'm sorry to say this one was retired last year. I also used the Tulip punch. I punched out the tulip one time. And then I needed one more of this one. Okay, so those are your scrap pieces from your soft suede brown. You're going to need a scrap piece of Pretty Peacock. And what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to use this one, the classic labels punch. And I'm going to punch out one of those. Just for now. I'm going to show you something else with that in just a sec. I'm also going to punch out one of those in mint macaron. I'm going to put that aside for right now. I'm going to use a piece of our DSP paper. This one here is 1.5 by 4. It's going to be the piece that goes on the inside. And this piece is 1 3/4 by 2, and this is going to be the mask on your card. All right. You're going to need a piece of, this is mint macaron, 1/8 of an inch thickness of ribbon. It's 4 inches long. You're going to cut it in half. And I took a little tassel off of, hold on. Best Dress Tassels. This is in our Occasions Catalog Mini right now that's available. All right. For your base of your card, you are going, I'm going to stick these aside, put this up here. You're going to need a piece of Pretty Peacock or whatever color you prefer. This is 5.5 by 8.5. You're going to fold that in half to make it 5.5 by 4.25. You are going to need 2 pieces of 4 by 5.25, and I ran both of these pieces through the Subtles embossing folder. Can you see the texture on that? I also ran the mask when I was done through the textured embossing folder as well. Okay, so we're going to get started with this. We're going to just do some layering. Oh, I'm almost out of glue. There we go. Shake it. It'll come out of there. It helps if you turn your glue upside down. Okay. Another one. Just layer it on the inside. All right, now we're going to get busy and build our little graduator. This is a really good card because they will keep this card forever and put it in their scrapbook and never forget what they had to do. So all our little pieces for graduation are right there. Okay, what we're going to start with is the eyes. We're going to start building the eyes. So 1 inch, 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch. I'm just going to put the little eye. Okay. And here. And then the black one. I'm going to have to get another glue. Oh, a little too much on that one. There's your eyes. Now, if this was the 1 inch, we're going to cut it in half, or a little bit less than half. Cut that off. And then you're going to cut a little bit. Well, this is a good trick too. If you want them to be exactly the same, just lay one on top of the other and just cut it. And that's a scrap piece. So what these are the eyelids. Okay. These are going to be the eyelashes. So this piece here that was a flower center, I want the part that has the most black. I'm just going to cut it off. And this is scrap. And then this one here. That's scrap. And now you're going to put your little eyelashes on here like this. See? Like that. Alright. So what we're going to do is take the little eyelashes and put this on first. There we go. Put that on here. Like that. Because what you're going to do is just angle cut right under the eyelash. That's going to be a scrap piece. You're going to do that twice. This piece gets glued on. The eyelashes. Like that. Oops. Rotating here. And then you're going to trim that. Again, under the eyelash. And on the other side. Now you're going to put your eyelids onto your image. Let's see with this one here. Hold them for a second to get them to dry. And then this is the tag punch. We're going to cut off right in the center. And you can use this one for another one. We're going to bring in a little dauber, sponge dauber, and the Blushing Bride ink pad. And we're just going to sponge right around the edge of the nose. Just to give it a little bit of color. All right. So let's get started on this. So the first thing that goes down is the nose. Do you see these little tabs right here? I leave those on there because it's going to give me a guide for the eyes. And you don't notice it on there. So the little nose is going to go all the way down to the bottom of your oval, right here, to the edge. Your eyes are going to get placed on that tab right there. So, right there. Come down a little bit if you want to. Oops, and the other eye. There's just a little bit of a gap in between the two eyes right there. You angle them however you choose. Okay. Now, the tulip that we had is going to be the hair. So we're going to just put this one just a little bit on the end because you're going to cut this piece off. So you're just going to need a little bit of hair. And kind of center it between the eyes. And then, like I said, you're just going to trim off this piece, and it's going to be scrap. You don't need it. And then the little portions of this is going to be your tulip, or is going to be your hair. So you see how there's a gap there. Now this one, it goes the same way, but you have to flip it over so it goes the other way. You have a gap there, but that's not a big deal. You're going to see that. But the hat's going to cover it. The trick to doing the hair is you just want to make sure that it follows the oval shape. The thing about punches is you can look in your own stash of punches and see what you have, because surprisingly you will be surprised what you can make out of a punch. So we're going to cut that little oval that we had in half. We're just going to put a tiny bit of glue right here on the end. And that's the top. So what it's going to be is it's just going to be the ear, and you're just going to tuck it behind the hair, right under the hair. Leave yourself a little tiny space, so you want to make sure you can put a little earring on there. Same with this one. Just going to angle it out there. How do you want your little ear to look? Okay. Now this little oval right here, which was the second to the smallest oval, I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to make a little loop like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just cut it out like that. And then that's scrap. And then just nick off this back half, just a tiny bit to make it look straight instead of rounded. Same here, you can flip it over if it's easier. Just cut off a little bit of that. That is going to be the crown of the graduation hat. Do you see how you kind of get these as close as you can to the hairline, because this is going to cover it up. Okay, and this is the other thing. You've got to make sure that your hair follows that shape of the oval. All right, so we're just going to put a little bit right here along the edge, right here. Not the whole thing, because this is just going to go over like the little crown of the graduation hat. All right, give it a second to dry. And then you're going to turn it over, and you're just going to trim that. Just follow the oval. Your dies and your stamps and punches can create all kinds of things. So your graduation hat is going to go on there. We need a dimensional because we're going to pop that up. And we're just going to put it right at the bottom right here. We're just going to angle it like this, between the eyes. Kind of cover up that little bit of that piece that's in the middle that's the hairline. Okay, and then you have this little tassel. We're going to use that with a glue dot, and we're going to put that on there. And then that's just going to go to the side of your graduation hat and cover up some of that. And that is pretty much, minus the little earrings that we need, all that you have to do to create a little girl for graduation. It's not hard to create with punches. Sometimes you just have to sit and play and move them around a bit. Now these are your little rhinestones. I'm using the smallest one, and I'm just going to put it right on the end of her ear. One over here. Okay. Those out of the way. All right, so this is all scraps. We're going to get rid of all of this. Keep that piece. Throw this away. And we're going to work on the card itself. All right. I got to get one more piece of paper in here that I had. Oh, where did my white? Well, darn it. I guess we'll just have to stamp another one. Here's a scrap piece of paper. Oh, here it is. There it is. I found it. Good thing. There's the graduation that I stamped earlier. And this is that label, classic label punch again. We're going to punch out this piece right here. And it doesn't matter if it runs into the other side. Just kind of make this straight. Punch this out. Because what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to insert it back in here like this to where I want it to line up on the end and make a smaller point. My hand on it. So punch that off. And the same way on this end, I'm going to do that to make this smaller. So this punch too can be, it's a great punch. It can be, create your images a lot tinier. So this one's going to get glued onto this piece, which is mint macaron again. Hopefully, next time I do a video, I'll have to get more glue out. All right. And if you just line this up on one end, you only have to punch one end to make it smaller. Again, let's do it this way. Put it inside, pull it up so that you're above the punch, and then just punch it. Line it up kind of and punch it. Okay. And then we're going to glue that one on top of this one. Maybe. All right. And again, we're just going to line it up on one end and punch one end. Do you see how you can layer this with just this one punch? Again, put it in from the end, lift it above, and go to the second color. And punch it. There you go. That's part of the card. All right. The next thing we're going to do is put our little lady on here. And you can do it with dimensionals. So what we're going to do is flip it over and put these wherever you feel like you want to put them. Oh, we got to do one more thing though before we put her down. Forgot. One more thing. We got to do the mask. Okay. So let's just put this aside for right now. We're going to take this piece right here that I told you was 1 3/4 by 2. And you're going to take your scoring tool. I prefer this scoring one because I can do 8 inches on it. So what you're going to do is the 2-inch mark. Let's pull this over here. Let's just scoot this over just a hair. The 2-inch mark is going to go this way. This is 1 3/4 across the top. See if I can center this a little bit better. You can see All right, so the very first line, you're gonna go, there's two little marks on here. So it's 1/4 of an inch. So your measurements all along that I'm gonna do is 1/4 inch, 1/8, then 1/4, then 1/8, then 1/4, then 1/8. I'm gonna keep doing that so until I come out to the end of the paper. So the first one is 1/4 inch score mark. Just hold it there and score 1/4 of an inch. The next one is one little tick from that, which is 1/8, and you're gonna score that. Then from that mark, you're going to do 2 ticks, which is 1/4. And then from that mark, you're going to do 1, which is 1/8. And you're going to do 2. And by this point, you should be at the 1 inch mark. So that's 1/4 of an inch. Then you're going to do 1/8. And you're going to do 1/4. And then you're going to do 1/8. And at this point, you should be at 1/2 inch. 1.5 inches, sorry. And then the last one is a whole 1/4 inch. So you're done at the end, see? Okay. That's how you score it. If you wanted to make a mask bigger, a bigger mask, you can do the same thing, but instead of this being 1/4 inch, make it 1/2 inch. Then you can do 1/8 of a mark, and then 1/2, then 1/8, then 1/2, and that'll make your mask a bigger mask for on a card as well. So what I do when I do my mask is I just fold all my little creases on the 1/4 and the 1/8 marks all the same direction. Just kind of try to get them in there, just so you can work with them a little bit. And just fold them. Do you see how you're doing those? It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see those little marks on there. But it's just a continue fold. And I do this first because it's easier to do the back and forth if I have gotten them in a mark where I know it has to be. The folds will be easier to do. So this last one's a little bit trickier. So let's go up instead of down. All right. So now on the 1/4, those are going to be your mountains. Do you know what I mean by a mountain? It goes up. The 1/4 marks are up. The 1/8 mark is a valley, so it goes down like that. It's a valley. And then the next one is going to be a 1/4 mark, so it's going to go up. And then the next one is 1/8, so it's going to go down. That's a valley. Do you see it's taking form? Then you're going to do the 1/4 is a mountain. And then the 1/8 is a valley. Push it in. Mountains go up, valleys go down. 1/4 inch is a mountain. And then the 1/8 is a valley. Do you see how that took form? Okay, at this point, when I have this, it kind of looks like a little bit of accordion, but you have to have that measurement in between to get your mask to fold right. I just kind of give it a good burnishing with my tool, my bone scoring tool. And at this point, I run it through the embossing folder because not only does it give it texture, it looks like it will hold together stiffer, and it also too is more flexible. So you've broken up the fibers on the paper and give it a little curl. So that's what I did here. I just ran it through the embossing folder, the Settles embossing folder. Same one I used to do the background on this card. Okay. So now what you're going to do is take that 4-inch ribbon, you're going to fold it in half, and you're going to cut it. If you have paper snips and you put a ribbon on there and you only use it for ribbon, they will stay sharp for your ribbon. I don't use this pair for cutting. This is my cutting pair. I have 2. I put the cover back on this one so I know not to use it. That helps me remember that that's for ribbon only. So now you're going to use your dimensionals again, I mean your glue dots again. And you're just going to touch your ribbon to the end. Both of those. So now your ribbon's on your glue dots. You're going to take your glue dot off of there, and you're going to put it onto the back side. And remember now how you're doing your mask. So what do you want to be the top? Or do you want to be the bottom? Do you want your mask to fold down this way or fold up? It's your choice. but whatever way you go, you put these on the back side, same corner, top ends, like that. So that's the top of your mask. Same with this one. It's going to go on the opposite side, but at the same top of it. Now there is your mask. How cute is that? All right, so bring back our pieces. And our little punch art that you did. Now your mask is, I kind of curl mine a little bit to give it a little bit of texture to make it look like more like a mask. And it's just going to loop behind, above the ear and behind the hair, behind the hairline, and just kind of center it. Let your nose to show just a tiny bit on your nose. So you can see a little bit of the color, again, behind it. You know, sometimes I guess you can put the mask on before you do the hair, just lift it up a little bit and it'll go. And then you're going to take those two pieces to the back of your card. Takes a bit of playing. You can do it. Let's just do one side at a time. And this is where you can put another dimensional. So take your dimensional and just put your ribbon right under it. Okay, let's do the other side. Oh, gotta get over the ear. This side a bit. And on that side, put a dimensional on top of that one. All right. And then pull all those papers off of the dimensionals. And one on a graduation hat. All right, and then flip it over and then decide where you want her to go. Now you can pull the mask down just a hair. You can put a little glue dot under there if you want to hold it lower. You want your nose to come down just a hair. You can stick it on the nose if you want because nobody's going to see it, right? It's just a mask covering up it. So the glue dot will just hold it just a tiny bit lower if you want it to be like that. How cute is that? All right. So on the front of your card, you're going to put the saying, I can't wait to social undistance graduate with you. So on this one, we're going to put this little guy, and hopefully this glue works. If not, I'm going to be using, oh, good job, glue dots, they work too. So put this one in here, just social, there you go, like that. That was cute, like that. All right, and then this one, glue it down. I use liquid glue when I use an embossing folder because it stays better. Just decide the distance you want, make it straight, equal distance. And again, you can just rub the back or tap it down. Now we're going to work on the inside. This is your DSP paper that's 4 by 1.5, I think I told you. Yep, 4 by 1.5. Trick to this one is you only want to glue just the edge on one side and the other and just the bottom. Okay, because if you glue the whole thing, you will not have a pocket. So line it up on your cardstock. And you just seal right here on the side, just right here. That's where you want it to be. And then this one here, this little PDF printout again. Just a little bit of glue on there. Alrighty. That's what happens. Shake your glue if it doesn't want to come out because it's getting towards the bottom. And then you're just going to put this one in here where you want it to be. Or maybe you want to go up a little bit. Because this one here that you can write on and put a little gift card in there or money. Graduates like money too. There's your little pocket. Now how cute is that? You can do it. Check out your punches and see what you have. Here's another idea with a different color. They're never going to be the same. Here's the first one I did. See how her eyes are a little bit lower because I didn't trim this little circle enough, and it kind of gave her kind of like droopy little eyes. Like maybe she's just a little bit sad that she's not graduating this year. But we will social undistance with them when they get a chance to get through this mess we're in. So there's your card. Thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please subscribe to my subscriptions and give me a thumbs up, and you can watch more of my videos that are out there. The PDF is a great way to help those that are struggling with COVID-19. There's 2 events that you can donate to. You choose. Again, just click on the link that I have in my video and go ahead and download the PDF. It's for you to use as you choose. There are copyright issues, but you can print as many as you would like and use them in any way you also would like. So again, check out your punches and your dies and see what you have that you can create your own graduation card for your own graduate. You can do it. I know you can. And if you need anything, please just order from your demonstrator, or if you don't have one, you may, again, in the link, you will see my information to order, and I'd be happy to help you. Have a great day, and we will get through this together.